Hi, welcome to Tea and Mystics. Today I will be sharing a short review of the book Reading Judas by Elaine Pagels and Karen L while I am sipping on some organic gut feeling tea from Genuine Tea. Reading Judas is a book about the Gospel of Judas, which is a non-canonical gospel. It's categorized as a Gnostic gospel, and this book is written by two scholars of the Gnostic Gospels, Elaine Pagels, who's probably best known for her book entitled The Gnostic Gospels, and Karen L who I shared a review of her book on the Gospel of Mary of Magdala. I'll link to it down below. So both are wonderful guides to approaching the Gospel of Judas, and the Gospel of Judas that they provide at the back, you get a copy of it translated, is translated by Karen L What I liked about the book is that not only did it provide a English translation of the Gospel of Judas, but it also had a really thorough discussion of the translation and approaches that they took to the translation of the Gospel, which is just nice and very transparent about the approach to it. But the bulk of the book is actually looking at what does it mean that this Gospel of Judas was discovered? What is the Gospel really saying? And how do you situate it within early Christian history? Now for this book, I actually took a different approach than I did for other books that I've read that have to do with the Gnostic Gospels. And I decided that I wanted to read the Gospel of Judas, the text of it, without reading the bulk of the book first, so that I would have my own approach to it, to see what I got from it, how I understood it, how it spoke to me before reading all the interpretations of it. And I really enjoyed doing that because it just allows the work to speak to you at its level before you're taking in all the excess information. What I got from it was an interesting depiction of Jesus. He almost seems a little cruel in parts. The Gospel of Judas has him laughing at the disciples, and overall the text is really saying that Judas is the only one who truly understands the teachings of Jesus and has secret knowledge of the teachings of Jesus. This, the Gospel of Judas is definitely what would be categorized as having that Gnostic cosmological view that you will learn about when you sort of get an introduction into Gnosticism. Just like the most briefest understanding being that the God of the Old Testament or the Hebrew Bible isn't the real God, that there's actually a higher God, a creator God, and that is why there can be that confusion of how is there a God of love when this other God shows jealousy and revenge. But really the cosmological understanding of Gnosticism is broader than that. But just for that brief understanding, you then see that Jesus is very much a different figure within this gospel, and that it has a different interpretation of the resurrection for Jesus. Of course, a different interpretation or understanding of the role of Judas. And overall, it's a very interesting text, and one that some may find almost difficult to read. You can tell that the author of the Gospel of Judas was angry, was upset, and as the book itself gets into when they discuss the ideas of when the Gospel of Judas was written, why it may be written the way it is that at that time you had a lot of very early Christians being prosecuted and then martyred, and that there were early Christians who really almost promoted that idea of martyrdom. And you can tell that this approach to it sees that as totally wrong, that you don't get to understand and find communion with God through martyrdom, and really almost sees that as encouraging murder and when you encourage martyrdom. So a really interesting text, and I really appreciate the breakdown that Elaine Pagels and Karen L. King provide for the Gospel of Judas, and just understanding it within the context of the time that it was written, and how it relates to other Christian texts, those that are the canonical Gospels, and also just other non-canonical Gospels that had been discovered. So definitely a really interesting book if you have any interest in Gnosticism or early Christianity, and it's not that long. It's quite a breezy text to read through as well. I find both Elaine Pagels and Karen L. King to be very approachable, very easy to read, so I definitely would recommend it. Today I am drinking some organic gut feeling tea from Genuine Tea, and this tea is really to help promote tummy health, and I'm really enjoying it. It has definitely a bit of licorice undertones to it, and today I'm just finding it very calming because I'm feeling a little anxious today, and when I'm anxious sometimes my tummy gets upset, so I thought, oh, this is the tea to drink. So I would definitely recommend it for anyone who wants a tea that really helps soothe and calm their tummy. And some of the ingredients are lemon balm, licorice root, ginger root, dandelion leaves, fennel leaves, nettle leaves, elderberries, cinnamon, burdock root, cardamom. So again, that's organic gut feeling from Genuine Tea. Thanks so much for spending time with tea and mystics. Cheers!